If thinking about them has slowly turned into a habit, something you do without realizing it, something that happens when your mind goes quiet, when the day ends, or when you're alone with your thoughts, then this message is for you. Read this carefully, because what you're experiencing is not random and it's not meaningless. At first, it may have felt small, a passing thought, a memory that appeared out of nowhere, a moment where their name surfaced in your mind for no obvious reason. You didn't question it then. You brushed it aside. But over time, those moments began to repeat. The thoughts became more frequent, the memories more vivid. Their presence in your mind started to feel constant. Now, it almost feels automatic. You wake up, and they're there. You go about your day, and somehow they appear. You're doing something completely unrelated, and suddenly you're thinking about them again. Not because you want to, not because you're forcing it, it just happens. And that's the part that confuses you the most. Because habits don't form out of nothing. Habits are created through repetition, emotional charge, and unresolved meaning. Your mind does not choose one specific person to replay over and over without a reason. The human psyche is efficient. It doesn't waste energy obsessing without purpose. So if thinking about them has become a habit, it's a signal that something within you has not reached completion. Often we believe we think about someone because we miss them, or because we're lonely, or because we're bored, but that's only the surface explanation. Beneath that, there is something much deeper happening. Your mind is trying to process something that was never fully understood. It could be a connection that ended without clarity, a bond that never had closure, words that were never said, feelings that were never fully expressed, or a version of yourself that only existed when they were around. When a person becomes a mental habit, it's rarely about the person alone. It's about what they awakened in you. Maybe they made you feel seen in a way you hadn't felt before. Maybe they mirrored a part of you that you had forgotten existed. Maybe they represented safety, excitement, understanding, or emotional intensity that your life now feels disconnected from. Your mind returns to them because it remembers how you felt when they were part of your emotional world. And here's something most people don't realize. The mind does not let go of emotional experiences easily, especially the ones that changed you. If thinking about them feels repetitive, almost compulsive at times, it's because your inner world is still asking a question that hasn't been answered yet. What did that mean? Why did it happen? Why did it feel so different? Why can't I move on like I'm supposed to? You may tell yourself that you should stop thinking about them. You may even feel frustrated with yourself for not being able to let go. But fighting the habit only strengthens it. Suppression never dissolves meaning. It only buries it deeper. The truth is, your mind keeps returning to them because it believes there is something important there, something it doesn't want you to forget. And that doesn't always mean you're meant to be with them. Sometimes a person enters your life not to stay forever, but to reveal something about you that you were never meant to lose. Think about this carefully. Who were you when they were part of your life? How did you feel about yourself then? What part of you came alive around them? Often, the habit of thinking about someone is actually the habit of remembering yourself. You may not miss them as much as you miss the version of you that existed in that connection. The version that felt deeply, the version that hoped, the version that believed, the version that felt emotionally awake. And when life becomes quieter, heavier, or more mechanical, your mind reaches back to the last moment it remembers feeling truly alive. That's why the thoughts come at night. That's why they appear during moments of stillness. That's why they show up when you're not distracted. Because silence brings truth to the surface. Another important thing to understand is that habits form when emotions are left unresolved. If something had a clear ending, your mind would archive it and move on. But when an experience ends emotionally unfinished, your psyche keeps revisiting it, hoping to complete the loop. That's why closure is not about the other person. It's about internal resolution. Your mind is asking you to look inward, not outward. It's asking, what am I still holding on to? What lesson haven't I integrated yet? What emotion haven't I allowed myself to fully feel? Sometimes the habit fades once you stop running from it and start listening to what it's trying to tell you. And here's a difficult but honest truth. If thinking about them has become a habit, it means you haven't fully chosen yourself yet. Not because you're weak, not because you're stuck, but because part of you is still emotionally anchored to the past version of connection instead of the present version of your life. Your mind clings to what felt meaningful when your current reality doesn't offer the same depth yet. This doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means you're in transition. Habits dissolve not through force, but through replacement. When your life begins to offer emotional depth again, through purpose, growth, creativity, connection, or self-understanding, the mind naturally loosens its grip on what it no longer needs to revisit. You stop thinking about them, not when you decide to forget them, but when you no longer need what they represented. That's when the habit breaks quietly, without effort, without struggle. One day, you realize they haven't crossed your mind, and when they do, it no longer carries weight, it no longer pulls, it no longer hurts, it just exists. Until then, don't judge yourself for the habit. Don't shame your mind for repeating what mattered. Don't rush the process. Your thoughts are not betraying you. They are guiding you. They are showing you where healing is needed, where growth is required, where emotional truth is still waiting to be acknowledged. Thinking about them becoming a habit is not a sign that you're stuck. It's a sign that you're being asked to evolve beyond what that connection taught you. And once you truly understand that lesson, the habit will no longer be necessary. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to reflect quietly, not on them, but on yourself. Something within you is ready to move forward, and awareness is always the first step.